Welcome, everybody. NBA Odds Couple Show. Mike Brenner coming to you with Jordan Sharp today. I went 1-1 last night. Jordan went 1-1. I had a two-team teaser that cashed, and Jordan had a two-team teaser that bit him in the ass. With that being said, Jordan, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey, Big Mike, what's going on, buddy? I mean, it's a strange day when you go 1-1. Did you have too much fun on the holidays yesterday? A little bit too much Purple Haze hangover for you, sir, on 420?
It could have been, but you know what? I'm going to leave that out, and I'll leave that to the viewers' discretion to make their decision. But you know what? You caught me off guard on that one, and I like that, though. I like that. How's everything on your end?
Oh, Big Mike, if I could cash some of these props a little bit better, I'd be perfect. But you know what? I'm feeling great about tonight's slate. I think there is some really nice value on this 3-game slate, and I have a feeling that I think you and I are going to be on the same page a little bit tonight, so to speak. That's just my feeling before the call. We'll see how that ends up, though. I don't know if you've been if Loshak's been calling you up and giving you any tips or not. Maybe that'll hurt your record here tonight, but we'll see about that.
I got news for you. If he's calling up and giving me tips, I'm going to be the last one to take them, but I'll just, be nice to Pete and be kind and tell him, yeah, I put the bet in, but hell no, I'm going to run the other way. That's a 10-foot pole. Hey, with that being said, real quick, I'm going to pan the board because accountability throughout this whole season is everything to me. Again, 1-1 last night. I missed my first half play by a half a point, and actually a player, I think it was Jamal Crawford, missed a jump shot with 2 seconds left. But hey, that's looking back, and I don't like doing that. 141 and 116, no damage done, still 55%. But as Jordan said, there is some opportunity on this board tonight. I know I am absolutely licking my chops for a few of these plays. And with that, let's get right into it. Jordan, first and foremost, Oklahoma City Thunder, all right, going to Dallas, take on the Mavericks. I read a really cool quote this morning. It said Durant couldn't have hit water if he jumped out of a boat the other night. And, that's the absolute truth. 7 for 33 from the floor, and Russell Westbrook didn't help out. I think he was like 8 for 23. I'm going to let you go first on this one, but I got a lot to say about this game.
Yeah, Oklahoma City just could not hit the broadside of a barn. 33% from the floor, 21% from the three-point line. I mean, but that being said, you look at playoff games like this, and especially with a team as talented and as deep as Oklahoma City, going up against a team like Dallas who's injured, and even though they're going back home, and after all the just stupid Russell Westbrook dancing conversation that's been going on over the last 24 hours, this team is going to come out pissed off, and they are so mad how they lost that game too, Big Mike. I cannot see anything other than a blowout in this game number 3.
Wow. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. And you know what? There's something going on in Oklahoma City, and I've been trying to put my finger on it all year and not to go into it too deep, but, with what's going on with Donovan, it just hasn't meshed completely. And I think if you factor on top, I think Westbrook's already gone in his head. I really do. So he's trying to hold it together to do the best they can do this season, but it's just not that same feel as years past, and that's because of the inconsistency I saw from game 1 to game 2. But you know what? This is game 3. Dirk Nowitzki said he could barely walk when he got off the plane. I know Dallas might be thinking, you know what? Hey, we got that win and we're comfortable and so forth. Nuh-uh. There's going to be a can of whoop ass opened up early, often, and throughout the whole game. You can bring the wheelbarrow and the shovel because they're going to bury the Dallas Mavericks at halftime. And I'll get to the picks at the end, Jordan, but I'm all over this thing in a couple different ways. All right, with that being said, let's get right into the Pacer game. What's your thoughts on Toronto finally, picking up the slack, earning a decent win in game 2, a well-needed win? Does Indiana come out pissed off? And how are they going to handle the momentum that has now swung to the Toronto Raptors?
Yeah, I talked about this in my Picks of the Day article, if you check that out. But, I mean, it's 2 words it comes down to this game. Jonas Valanciunas. That guy could not be stopped in basically games 1 and 2, but game 2, I mean, he was just on fire. The only thing that slowed him down was foul trouble. And the Pacers have got to find a way to get this guy off the glass and stop him from getting easy buckets, because if he's doing that, they don't stand a chance, Mike. I mean, the Pacers can match up with the Raptors on the perimeter, but if Valanciunas is destroying them, I mean, good luck trying to win this game. But that being said, Bankers Life Fieldhouse crowd is going to be fired up tonight. That is a tough place to play in the playoffs. It is a loud, almost college-like atmosphere, especially in the playoffs. I think the Toronto Raptors could have some trouble with the Indiana Pacers. I am very, very interested to see what you have to think about this, because if we're on the same page of this one, I am really kind of leaning towards the Pacers in this one.
Yeah, and I know, absolutely know Paul George has got to be waiting for this one to start. He's had a lot to prove this year in his own mind, because everybody else already knew the talent was there. And coming off that massive, injury he had 2 years ago, I know he wants this game, and I really think they kind of took the pedal off the metal a little bit in game 2, and I think they got a little lax because they felt, all right, we got one here. And a lot of teams do that, but when they go home, everything changes. So yes, I'm anxious to get into that one as well. Now, the third game tonight, obviously the bookies already know it. It's no secret, even though they're not going to announce it yet. But he's not playing. Steph Curry will not be suiting up tonight. I don't even think they need to. But Golden State still getting some love from the book, -5, -5.5 on the road. All right, what are your thoughts? And does Houston have anything in their bag of tricks that can possibly slow down Klay Thompson and company?
Yeah, Clay had a really good game, but Clay tends to have good games at home, and it's different on the road. And I think that's going to come into factor here tonight, because James Harden is not a great defender. Let's be honest, but he really don't need him to be a great defender to win this game. At least cover it for in my eyes. I think the Warriors have a chance in this one to win and cover. But really, I mean, this line is pretty sharp considering Steph Curry's probably going to be out. The Warriors are a different team on the road, and they have not been that great as road favorites here recently. They were above 500 against the spread as road favorites this year, below 500 in their last 11 or 12 games. I think they're like 4-7 or something like that against the spread in their last 11 road favorite games. This one could be a trap line, and it smells very, very fishy with having the Warriors as a 5-point favorite in this one. When like you said, we're assuming Steph Curry is not going to play.
Now, with that being said, even if he doesn't play, I got to ask you, Jordan, what the hell does Houston have besides James Harden? Because Dwight Howard, there's nothing he can do to impress me. I don't care if he went out and got 50 points, 50 boards, and 50 blocks in one game. Still wouldn't impress me. All right, that guy is definitely not a team player, and that is affecting that team. It's a cancer on that team. And I'm sorry, but I don't think there's anybody besides James Harden that can, even slow this machine down. And that's with or without Steph Curry. What is it that you think maybe Houston has? And is Josh Smith going to wake up? Are they going to let him play? And who else there can possibly do any damage?
Man, it takes a lot to impress you, Big Mike. 50 points and 50 boards. You wouldn't be impressed? That'd be amazing.
I'm just so mad at him. You know what? I've had a hard-on against him for 4 years, maybe 5 years now, when he killed me on a huge game I had, and he missed 2 free throws at the end. Imagine that. But, he makes $252,000 every time he steps on the floor, and that pisses me off. I'm one of those that I think a contract should be negotiated and paid out on what you're doing, what you're performing, your performance. And he doesn't do it for me. So, yeah, obviously that statement was a little outrageous, but I don't know. I'm just not sold on this team. And now there's talk that Van Gundy may be coming back to coach there. So Bickerstaff's got to be wondering where he sits. How do you fire up a team when all that's facing you, Jordan?
I think like we talked about with the Hornets and Heat game, the Rockets, need a change in strategy here in this game. And I think, unlike with the Hornets that we saw last night, who sped that game up and really tried to force the Heat to play in transition, which worked out for like the first, quarter and a half, didn't work out too well after that. But I think Houston's going to need to actually slow this down. Nobody can play at the pace of the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are too good at playing the quick pace, but without Steph Curry, they could have some half-court offense issues. And if the Rockets can actually defend, maybe switch Trevor Ariza onto Klay Thompson, give him a little bit longer, lengthier defender to deal with, hide James Harden on a guy like Harrison Barnes, they can slow down that transition offense by the Golden State Warriors, and in fact also play a little bit more half-court themselves. They're going to keep this game a little bit lower scoring. They're going to keep the Warriors out of transition. And even though, like you said, they haven't really been getting a whole lot of production from their bench, back at home, this is where the bench always shows up in the playoffs. You always get somebody, maybe a Josh Smith, who knows who it's going to be for the Rockets tonight, that's going to show up and have a big game. And that is exactly the kind of thing the Houston Rockets need here to avoid getting a third straight loss in this series.
Yeah, and normally I would absolutely just totally agree with that. And to a sense I do. It's just that this team, similar to like I was talking about with the Thunder, they are a totally different team because no one knows who's going to be where next year, bottom line. I mean, and that goes from coaching right on through, and you can see how it affects a team. Something tells me that Golden State is so focused, they want to get 4. They want to get this thing done, all right, allow Curry to rest and look forward to the next round. But, Trevor Ariza, Patrick Beverley, Josh Smith, where in the hell are you guys? You better step up, you better earn a paycheck, and you better help out James Harden because there's just no way he can carry that load tonight. So anyway, well, with that being said, that's the slate. 3 games tonight. All right, let's let our viewers know where the edge is, Jordan. Starting out with Oklahoma City, I'm going to put my pick out there. I am absolutely all over this game, and I'm all over it in 4 different ways. And trust me, I'm not stretching, I'm not reaching, I'm not desperate. I see value. I got them on the quarter minus 2.5. I got the Thunder on the first half minus 4.5. And you know what? They're going to bury them on the game minus 8.5. That's right. Oklahoma Thunder on the quarter, the first half, and the game. All right. I have them also involved with the teaser. I'll get to that last. With that being said, Jordan, do you have any picks? And I'm sure you do. Something tells me on this particular game.
Oh, man, I could not agree with you more. I'll just go ahead and let it ride with you, Big Mike. I love the half and game line on this one. I'll also add, I was very, very interested to see that the total was well below 200 points in this one. If OKC comes out and does exactly what we think they're going to do, you have to think they're going to drop about $1.15, $1.20 on this Dallas Mavericks team, no matter what they're playing. So the over could be a pretty good value as well. Just a lean for me on that one, but not an official pick. But yeah, I completely agree with you, and they are also a part of my teaser tonight as well. I have a feeling we might be on the same exact teaser, but mine, I'll go ahead and give you my teaser, going with the Thunder minus 4.5. And yes, I'm doing it. I was no balls sharp the other night, but I am going with some balls tonight, Killer Mike. I am going with the Rockets plus 9.5 in my other leg of that teaser, along with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Well, with the breakdown you gave with the Rockets, I would have no reason to dispute that. But as far as us being on the same, we're not. We're actually on the total opposite. So with that, I'll put my teaser out. I've got the Thunder. Again, after the 4-point adjustment, knocks it down to 4.5. And you know what? I'm rolling with the Warriors, baby. I'm rolling with the Warriors minus 1.
Hey, we can both still win it. That doesn't leave out us both winning our teasers.
No, I know. Yep, I know that. I just know one thing. Golden State, I think, is focused, and I think they want to nip this thing in the bud. And I don't see anybody that's capable of stepping up because in my mind, I think all these Houston Rocket players are already knowing they're not going to go too far. Season's over. That team is going to be dismantled as well as the coaching staff. So I don't look for them to show up tonight. So that is my 4th pick, is a teaser. Now on the second game, Pacers against Toronto. You open it up. What are your picks on that game, and do you have a pick on that game?
I do, in fact, have a pick on that game, and I am following true with, I think, the every other game strategy that seems to be the playoffs. Team that loses tends to make an adjustment in a close series like this. I think the Pacers on the money line, plus 105, plus 100, plus 109 at some places. I think you're going to get PG-13, the best of Paul George here tonight. I think that the home cooking, so to speak, here in Indianapolis is going to help those Pacers role players. All they need is for 1 or 2 other guys to step up to beat this Raptors team and to slow down Jonas Valanciunas. It could be Monte Ellis. George Hill could come back from being basically invisible the last 2 months. Who knows? Miles Turner, the rookie, had a really good game 1, kind of disappeared in game 2. I think the home cooking's going to help him. Pacers have a good bench in this one. Terrence Ross could be out with that concussion. That just limits the Raptors bench, and they're shooting a little bit more. I think the Pacers take this one and take a 2-1 series lead.
Wow, that's a good insight, good breakdown. PG-13, I like that. And yeah, that particular arena is a tough place to play because it does get loud. And you're up in them parts, you know that area. You used to be out there, or you're there now, right?
Yeah. I am about 5 miles north of that stadium. I didn't get tickets for this one, but thinking about Game 4 though. We'll see how that works out.
Well, let me ask you this real quick: how's the crowd? I mean, are the fans ready? Are they just chomping at the bit for this game to tip off?
I mean, you think about this city and how much bad sports they've seen with the Indianapolis Colts over the last, and disappointment they've seen. They are very excited for this team to be back in the playoffs. This is a basketball state. It's more of a college basketball place, obviously, but their pro team, they come out and support it either way, especially in the playoffs. This arena, it's actually a little bit smaller than some of these other NBA arenas. So when it's packed, it gets very, very loud. They got
Wow.
drum lines. They have the DJ. I mean, this place is going to be rocking tonight. And the Toronto Raptors, like I said, have not been very good as road favorites here heading into the stretch run of the season. I think Indiana, I think it'll be close. I don't think it's by any means going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. But I think the crowd factor, I think Paul George and the home crowd and some of these other guys potentially stepping up is going to be a very big factor for the Pacers here tonight.
Well, it could be, because if not, I think it's over for them. If they don't win this one, I think they're really in some deep, deep trouble. And, unfortunately, with those two teams, for them, I don't think either of them can make any type of noise whatsoever in the next round. But we'll get to that when it gets there. All right, my fifth pick, and I love it, and I'm jumping all over it, and you just solidified it, but I loved it early. I like the Pacers on the first half, getting a half a point. If Toronto's going to do any damage, I think they'll do it in the second half. I think the Pacers understand the urgency. They're at home. They're mad about that last loss, so they start out early. So just to recap my plays, I've got the Thunder on the first quarter. I got them on the first half, and I got them on the game. I have the Pacers on the first half, and I have a two-team teaser with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Golden State Warriors. Jordan, if you will, just review your two picks again before we wrap it up.
Yep, got a two-team teaser on the Thunder, -4.5, and the Rockets +9.5. Pacers on the money line. And one thing I agree with you about that Pacers first half pick as well. Very good first half defensive team as well this season.
Well, fantastic. And also, viewers, check out the picks page. There's a prop article that Jordan does, and he's got some prop picks. So later on, he'll have that video, and it will be up. So please check that out. And in the meantime, beat your book and rely on us, because we're going to take those numbers up. We're going to beat them bad. We're going to come back with you tomorrow. Jordan, have a great night. Don't do anything stupid out there. And if you do go to the game, tell Paul George to earn a damn paycheck, will you?
That's right. He needs to drop about 35 tonight. I think that's what we're going to see from him, though.